Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So actually it's been like almost a month, unfortunately. So I usually, like I said, if I go on hiatus it's because I'm doing stuff. I'm busy. And as you guys know, I do work and I've been trying to kind of transition, which fortunately it's been good. I have started a new job and I'm training and all that. So let me get my little camera. So I've been training for that and everything. Kind of making goals on possibly ownership, maybe ownership of like a restaurant. So I'm kind of learning that process and seeing where that goes. So thank you guys for bearing with me. If you're new to the channel, thank you. Welcome, welcome. I am Mzpoly, and we talk about relationships here. And who better to talk about relationships than a person who is in multiple relationships, and not only multiple relationships, because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're in multiple relationships, okay, that just means you just go through them so fast and whatever. That doesn't mean they're good. I have multiple relationships that are long-term relationships. um as I continue through my journey, I hope that my relationships go on for lifetime. So that is always the goal. Is the intent is to have really strong, good relationships that, even through the ups and downs, that we can get through it and go through that process and then still be together. So that's really, really important. So as I'm learning through this journey myself. Also, I'm sharing what I've learned and my responses to a lot of things. So we have a segment called Asthma's Polly, if you guys do not see it. Okay, and what we do is I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, things like that, and people come to me and ask me questions all the time. So I do answer those questions, but I like to bring those questions over to YouTube, answer those, and start a discussion. So hopefully this inspires others to have conversations also. Okay, so let's go into it. So today we're going to talk about something that was brought up in the discussion I thought was interesting. Was, what do you do if you find out your friend has a partner who is cheating? This is really big, right? You're going out with your friends, you're having a good time, and you look over and you see your friend's girl, you know, um, really like laying it on thick to a gentleman, stroking his beard. He's laying, he's laying down game. She's really into him, maybe even see an exchange of affection. And like what do you do? What do you do with that? What do you do with that? Going back that way, baby. Not right now. Going back. I'll help you in a second. So sorry, I got a little baby sometimes run around. So what do you do in that instance? Well, I'll tell you what you should do. You should really, you should really take a moment and think about it. Just to be honest. Everyone's like, oh no, you take photos, you get your proof, you want them to see it so they'll believe it. Because even if you're telling, they may be thinking like you may not be honest. So you get your evidence, right? And they're like, oh, I got my evidence, I'm gonna tell them. But this is the thing. So when the gentleman brought up the question, he also brought up, which was great that he did. He brought up um, an article with a man who saw his friend's wife dancing with the man, and like it was clear that they were in some kind of relationship. And then that night he took his evidence and he showed his friend and was like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, this is what's going on right now. The woman went home, at that night, and he did too. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then next morning, he starts singing like "Rest in Peace, Rest in Peace," and he's like, what is this? And he finds out like his friend lost it that evening and killed his wife. And oh, we can't say that word, can't we? So we won't say that. Sorry. So he eradicated the situation. And I apologize, YouTube. Don't get me. But yeah, he basically, you know, just removed her from the situation, and it's like, he felt like some kind of way. Like, what what happens if I tell my friend that? And that's like, yeah, you know your friend, right? At least I hope you do know your friend. You know your friend's reaction. And sometimes we can't tell who's that close to the edge, especially with men. And I don't say that because men, with other men, they're not like, not all the time. I won't say all the time, but most of the time, men aren't sharing those kind of emotional, intimate feelings with other men. So you don't know if that man has been like losing it for weeks and he's on the edge, and you just told him what's the little bit of peace that was going to set it off. You don't know that. Most men aren't going to divulge that kind of grief to another man. They're not going to reach out for the the consoling from them. They're not. They're just telling, oh yeah, man, I think that girl's doing me dirty. Like they'll do all that, but they're not talking about the emotional hurt that they're feeling from that. And so then you go and you tell them, hey, listen, I saw this. I just want you to know you need to get rid of her, whatever, because you're saying that. But look what happened. So for this gentleman who came and said, well, what do I do? Because I have seen some things, and but I'm so scared to say something that this man may lose it, and then I'm setting him up for this. But if I don't say anything, it's like I feel like I'm lying, withholding information from my friend, and this is a really tough spot to be in. That's a really tough spot to be in. And like I said, since you don't really know if your partner or your friend's partner is in a state of on the edge, and that's what sucks about it. I will say, because this is my opinion, if that is a real fear, I definitely would maybe find out a little bit more about the situation without coming off like, oh, you're just all in his business. But I definitely would try to, because some people want to hide that their partner may be in infidelity or whatever. You don't know the situation, and you do want to tread it lightly. But do you want to sit back and not say anything and feel like, oh man, I knew? Because you do hear that a lot where people are like, oh man, I finally caught her, and you've told a friend, and their friend's like, oh yeah, yeah, like I knew, man, I caught her a couple weeks, months ago here, I saw her. And then he's like, well, dang, like you're not a stand-up person, you're not gonna come be honest with me. And I'll be 100 in my opinion. I'm not saying this always works, but I would definitely go to my friend and kind of, you need to set up a place where they can be safe. This is not a phone conversation. This is not a phone conversation, because if your friend is on the edge, you do also want to be able to be there as a person who they can have that conversation with. Sorry, my nose is bothering me. You want to be able to, so like, bring them out. Say, I just want to have a conversation with we chill, to go fishing or whatever, and set it up where we're having this conversation. Even if you have proof, I'm not saying don't take proof. I'm not saying that because maybe they don't believe you, but like say like there were some things I saw I didn't think appropriate, but I think you should know. I feel like no, regardless of the reaction, because you're not really responsible for the reaction. And that just all honesty. People are like, oh, well, if you didn't say anything, they wouldn't react. No, you're not responsible for the reaction. You're responsible for making sure that, you are being true to yourself. People are like, well, mind your own business. Okay. We're mind our own business. And this is the thing. There's a line with mind your own business. Mind your own business is okay, you know what? They're doing their own thing over there. Like, I'm minding my own business. This is not some person you met on the street. This is your friend. And if they wanted you to mind your business, then maybe you shouldn't be friends. Because if you're hanging out with me and you're interacting with me, you're in my business already, and you clearly want to be part of my business. So that right there is unclear. Because if you didn't want to be part of your business, you shouldn't be my friend. And most people who are adults, you're not hanging out with people just to hang out with them. We're not in high school. Those kind of cliques and stuff, just because you're at, we don't do that. So you hang out with people because you want to, because you made time for them, you made space for them in your life. And if you're on that level as a friend, and then as your friend, your business is somewhat kind of my business. I'm not saying I have to get in it with you all the time, but I see something, someone potentially hurting you. And that is something that we can bring up. Now, the way I bring it up is different. I think it is a conversation you have like, hey, listen, you know what? I don't know if you and her are having issues, but if you knew they were having issues, like I know y'all go back and forth, um, and I don't know how that's going, but like, I think maybe your intuition is right. I've seen some things, and I want you to know that yeah, I think that some of her behavior was inappropriate what I saw. And I think that this should be something I'm sharing with you, but you need to be able to react in the right way. And you can have that conversation, especially if someone's who that high aggression. Now, you should know your friends. You should know how they react to some degree. You probably seen their relationship, and their relationship probably maybe is toxic, things like that. And you may want to be like, cautious. Let's have a real conversation, because those people who go in those toxic relationships, if you know that they've always fighting, if they do something, they go wild. Their reactions are very very extreme. Okay, this isn't something we're just walking into. You can see the signs of those things. Your friend's very aggressive. He's really on edge emotionally with this person. You know, maybe even a little bit of a timing too. A little bit of timing has to do with this. Some people say, well, could you go walk up to her and say something to her? That can also get you into some situations, because if you tell her, then she may try to set it up where, or he may try to set it up where he's like discrediting you prior to this. So you do want to come and be honest and space with your friend, and they can't accept that honesty. You don't have to say, oh yeah, they're cheating. You can say, hey, listen, like the behavior I saw was inappropriate, and then you can kind of go from that. And so then they can make the decision if they want to continue with that or not. You're just saying what you saw. You're not really telling them what to do. And then you can kind of go from there and fill it out, because everybody's different. Everybody needs different support, and then go through there. So this question was a really hard one too. You know what I'm saying? Should you tell your friend? And I think you should be able to tell your friend, but the way you tell people things sometimes makes a really big difference. People don't really think about that. It's really sometimes just the way you're saying it, how you're saying it, when you're saying it. Don't wait till they're having a party to celebrate his birthday to run over there. I mean, like, what's going on? Like, let's let's get some appropriate times. Let's set up some support for your friend. Let's set it up where we're in a good space. Maybe you even want to bring it up to the person and say, hey, I saw you do some inappropriate things. I'm going to let them know right now, and we're going to be in the same space. And I hope be supportive in this moment, but this has to come out. And I'm going to be honest, because I'm not going to be on the chopping block for not being honest. So I think that is where I lay with it. Um, but it's never, so the intent is just a lot to do with it. Like, you don't like that person's girlfriend or something. The intent. So you want to have, when you tell someone bad news, the intent should be to be assisting them in that. It's not to hurt. Because if you have the right intentions when you come to someone, it should not be in anger and animosity. It should not be at, name calling. Oh, you a hoe, you a hoe. No, 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 no. No. Like, it should be in like, hey, listen, like, what you're doing is messed up. This is not the way things are going. You're not doing this person right. If you don't want them, leave them alone. Like, really take a moment and think about your relationship. Those are common conversations, and a lot of people don't know how to have those conversations. So that is my opinion. This is my opinion about what to do. If you guys have any other suggestions for this gentleman, please write that in below. Even if it's different from mine, because not everybody believes I'm right. So write your opinion up here. Let people know what you think. And that's my little chat today. I don't have a whole bunch of time today, but this question hit me. I wanted to share this. And then I'm trying to do like little segments so it won't be so long. I know some people love the podcast version of things, but this is a platform for kind of like fast, quick things. So we're going to try to make question answers and short segments. And that way we can get you guys the content you need, and you can continue to enjoy the rest of your day after you listen to a little bit of me and maybe read some comments. So I appreciate you guys for being here with me. Subscribe if you liked our content. Please go below, like this video, okay? That just helps, support the channel and things like that. And then one of my goals, like trying to get more people to subscribe. We want to make goals of maybe 400 by the end of the year, and that's not a really big goal, but since I'm starting on this new venture at work, trying to tie everything in may be challenging for me. So I'm always doing something challenging. I don't know, like I go back to the videos, I'm like, I feel like Corey Kitchen, like I take breaks, everything's like a lot going on, but that's okay. As long as we're being consistent and trying our best every day to be better, it's all that matters, right? So, for all who tuned in, all checking this out, I appreciate you guys. Keep being positive. Remember, being honest is always, always, always the best way to go. Even when it seems like it's the worst thing that can happen, is to be honest is like, oh my God, so traumatic because now people know at the end of the day, you don't have that weight on your shoulders. You're not carrying around, regrets and all this because you've done what you're supposed to do. And in all honesty, if you can't live in your truth, if you can't live and be open and honest about what you're doing, then you probably shouldn't do it. That is honest. If you will have a second thought like, oh, maybe I wouldn't want to do that, then you shouldn't stand on it. So whatever you do, you should be able to stand on it. Even if it was a mistake, you should be able to say, you know what, I messed up, but I did it. And now I'm going to change that or whatever. But you should always be able to stand on what you did. And if you can't stand on it and it's wobbly, jump off. All right. So thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys. Check it out later. And then also one more thing before we run away. I always forget this part. So I'm opening up my boutique. Also, it's already really set up. I'm going to launch it. I wanted to promote it heavy, but everything's going crazy, and just I'm gonna throw it out there. So, we're gonna go Mzpoly's boutique. You guys can check out some adult loving toys, novelty items to make your relationship a little bit more interesting or trying new bonding techniques. So I will check you guys out later, and I appreciate your time. All right, guys, see you later.